Coastfm96.3, you're on Roar Youth Disability Radio. Here with me tonight is a German blind tennis player currently in the UK at the moment, Bianka Graeming. Bianka, how are you?
Good, thank you. It's good to talk to somebody from Australia, which is pretty far away from where I am now.
Yeah, pretty far indeed. So Bianka, before we get started, what's your disability and how does it affect you?
I am totally blind, so I can't see anything, but I was born blind, so basically I'm used to it,
Yeah, I can understand that. So Bianka, like I mentioned in the intro, you play blind tennis. How did you get involved in that?
When I was small, like school time, maybe 10, 14 years old, I was watching TV and I was watching the tennis and I loved the sound of when the tennis ball hit the racket. And I always thought it would hit the ground when it does that sound, but I couldn't see. So I thought it, and then somebody told me, no, it's the sound when it hits the racket. I loved that sound, so I kept on watching tennis for hours and hours and hours, and I had my favorite players, and you listen to the interviews, and then you kind of either like them or dislike them. And I sat in front of the telly, and I basically said, okay, you will never be able to do what these tennis players are doing because tennis is too fast for a blind person. Eventually, in 2016, we had some kind of, first workshop thing. And I wasn't part of it because I thought, well, one of my friends said, you just do your serve and then you've got the point. So I thought, no, I don't want to get involved. But then that same friend invited me. She said, let's meet on the tennis court. And then one of her coaches just threw, balls towards a racket. They put a racket into my hand and then they threw the balls towards the racket. And it felt so wonderful. And I said, if you've got some there near my place where I live, please let me know. And I'm going to see how far I get. A couple of months later, she called me and said, you can go and play near where you are. So that's how I got started. First with a group session, and then I continued on my own with a coach and practiced and practiced and practiced. After over a year, I decided now it's time to actually play some tournaments. And since we are not that progressed yet in Germany, or we haven't been progressing by 2018, I saw the contact details from somebody in charge of blind tennis in the UK. So I asked, how do I get involved in playing in the UK? And then she helped me to register with the LTA, so with the British Tennis Association. And then I went over and played the tournaments. It was just amazing. This journey has taken me to many, many countries, including Ireland, Japan, which is the birthplace of blind tennis. It's just amazing for me that I can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, my next question for you will be a tough one for you to answer, be it that you've been around the world, but what is a personal highlight for you throughout your journey as a blind tennis player?
The highlight is probably the trip to Japan last year because Japan is the birthplace of blind tennis. And I kind of went there thinking, okay, they have been playing for much longer than I did. So they're going to show me how tennis works, kind of. So I thought they would be very, very good at, I probably, don't even win a point. But I ended up winning the whole tournament. And in Japan, they have something called the Most Valuable Player Award. I was even given that one. And that kind of means, you're a good player. We respect you. We can learn a lot from you. This is what the certificate said that they gave me.
Yeah, that's awesome that you're able to win that award, especially being in the country where it all started. Anyways, Bianka, before we wrap up, is there anything you'd like to say to all the listeners out there?
Well, all I can say that if you have a chance to go and play blind tennis, go for it. Because even if you are not a sportive person at all, and I haven't been sportive for over 20 years before I started playing tennis, you can succeed.
That's a really good message right there. Anyways, I'm Brando McMillan, and I was just talking to blind tennis player Bianka Graeming, all the way from the UK, but originally from Germany, right here on Roar Youth Disability Radio on Coast FM 96.3.